Welcome to Barston. We've come on one of the early pegs today just to demonstrate fishing the method feeders at distance and how to set up and what tactics to use so you can get to that distance easily and obviously take advantage of features like that bridge out in front of me. First chuck, I've got one on. We surprised the man who was walking over the bridge. I don't think he was expecting a method feeder to drop by his feet, but feels like a good fish. Let's get this one in the net and I'll talk you through my tactics. First one of the day, beautiful Barston mirror. Give a good little fight, and they do go well in this shallow water. Let's get him back and hopefully we'll catch a few more. A really important part of my feeder fishing is what we call distance sticks. I use these all the time now. Over the last few years they've made a massive difference. Rather than counting the turns on your reel, I've got two sticks spread 2 meters apart so I can measure my accurate distance. I'll show you how to do that shortly. So what I do first is I cast out to where I want to fish in my swim, and today's swim we've got a bridge about, well, we think it's roughly about 80 yards away. So what I've done is clipped up against the bridge and I've come back. Rather than counting the turns back, I'm going to measure them on my sticks. The advantage of this is you know exactly where you're fishing, and also if you've got another rod on a reel and you want to clip up at the same distance, rather than casting and keep taking away and adding turns, you can simply do it on your sticks, clip up, you haven't got to keep casting in the lake and you're away. So let me show you how to do it. Got a simple loop in the end of my line where I'm going to attach my method shortly. Put it over one side of the sticks, just put it towards the bottom, and then all I do, the sticks are 2 meters apart, I just wind down to the first stick, put my anti-reverse on, so I'm not doing it on my clutch, so there's no pressure on the line, and then I simply just count the turns. So we go over the sticks, so that counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So for today's session we're fishing 38 turns on the sticks, so by doubling that, because the sticks are 2 meters apart, you know exactly how far you're fishing. So I'll get my next rod, I'll just count 38 turns on the rod, and then we know we're exactly in the same place. It's a much better way of doing it, much simpler, and you haven't got to keep casting in the lake either to find that distance and disturbing the fish. So a nice simple thing, really easy to do, bit of string, 2 bank sticks, you're away. Nice F1, about 2.5 pounds. They get quite big in here, so you don't mind catching a few of the matches, and they give a good account for themselves as well. I'll get him in the net and hopefully we'll get a bigger pull next time. Fast now. Just had another bite. We're having to wait a little while for the bites, but every time it goes round it's a proper fish. So we've got another lovely Barston mirror carp there. 6mm pellet's the trick at the moment, and you're having to get it right under that bridge to get a bite, but it's good fun. Get a little snapshot of this one, and then we'll get back out there, hopefully catch a few more. There he is, absolute beauty. A question we get asked a lot is, how do you prepare your pellets for your method feeder? Well, I'll show you how I do mine. I basically use the 2mm Dynamite Baits Carp pellets. Literally, I put the full bag in a 3-point bait box, fill that to the top, and then what I call flood them in water. So literally fill it with water so it's overflowing, so every pellet's submerged in the water. What I do, once they're all damp and that, I leave them for 2 minutes, and then once the 2 minutes is over, literally tip the excess water off. Probably lose a few pellets here, but don't worry too much. So you want as much water off as possible. Last little bit. Right, once that is done, rather than leave the pellets in the bait box, I want to let them air out for half an hour. So I get one of my buckets, literally just tip them in the bucket, give them a good shake around, and then just leave them for half an hour, just standing for half an hour. That way they can take on all the air they need to do, and they've got time to dry out a little bit. And I'll show you in a few minutes how they will look. There you go, half hour's gone. As you can see, pellets are perfectly tacky, sticking together, nice, perfect for moulding around the method. I've also done a kilo of my favourite ground bait, Ringer's Original, just as backup. Sometimes I like to swap between pellets and ground bait on the feeder. Sometimes you've got a lot of smaller fish like F1s and that, ground bait's a better option. I'm going to start on pellets, hopefully catch some better carp on that, but we've got the options to swap as well. Another little key, just one thing I do like to do, more for when I'm fishing deeper water or a pressured water, is add a little bit of this. This is a new mainline stick mix liquid. A lot of match anglers are getting onto this now. It's basically for stick bags for carp anglers to stick their mixes together. But a little squirt in your pellets, literally just a little rub over there. Give it a good mix in. Just makes your pellets a little bit more tacky, but it's a nice and even mix. Powder mixes tend to clog up the pellets and make them into little clumps, whereas this nice liquid mix will just add a little bit of flavour and a little bit of stickiness to your pellets. So there you go, got a perfect, lovely smells. A cell smelling bait which you can use on the method, and your pellets will still break down nice and evenly. There you go, another one in the net, nice bastard F1. Really pulled the rod around that one. I thought it was going to be a decent carp, but fight well, lovely little fish. Let's get him in the net and let's get back out there. When fishing method at distance. One, a 12 or 13 foot feeder rod, preferably a distance rod because they'll have slightly bigger rings, just help with your casting. Reel, and 4000 series reel or even bigger, mini big pits, something like that. Nice strong line you need, nothing over the top. I'm using 6 pound drag line there, which is a nice non-quibbles, doesn't make any mistakes lines, nothing special about it, but it don't let you down and it's nice and slim. Right, down to the end tackle. Obviously I mentioned before that you need the long stem feeders. It just really helps with accuracy, and I think it helps a small amount with distance as well. I've got the heavier method that we do in the range there. That's a 36 gram small, and again, you know, the more weight you've got, the more you can propel that feeder out there. Now loading the feeder, very simple. When fishing distance, I like to put a fair bit of bait on and pack it on tight. So first of all, I fill the mould to the top, drop the feeder in, give it a real good press. Put a nice tough bed of bait on the feeder there. Take the excess off from around the edges, then I'll half fill the feeder again, and I'll get my hook bait and drop it in, just in the thickest part of the mould. Fold it over again, give it another good press, and there you go. Feeder's ready to go now, it's fully loaded. I like it to be nice and stiff on the feeder because you're casting the distance. You don't want the wind or the power going through the feeder as it's going through the air to interfere with that bait coming off the feeder. Right, another key thing is I always like to leave a longer drop when I'm fishing at distance. So rather than where you'd probably have normally a 2 or 3 foot drop, I like to have like a 5 or 6 foot drop. It just gives you a lot more pulling power, pushing power even, when you're casting the feeder out there. And then another key thing is once you're about to punch it out, is to bring your bottom arm in. The arm that's on the bottom of the rod, you need to pull that into your body as well as push the other arm out. That will just give you the most power you can get through the rod. Right, here we go. Arms extended as much as you can. Nice big drop. Really propel it. It's gone straight through the rings there. Hit the clip. Lovely jubbly. Just amend the line slightly. It's a bit windy today, so try and pull the line round. Try not to move your feeder, so we're just sinking the rod under, just pulling that excess line round. And all I do is just pull the line with my hand rather than reel with a reel, just to feel the line tension in that. You don't want to move that feeder. Hopefully in a few minutes we should have a fish on the end. Well, it's been a great day at Barston. I'm going to call this the final fish if we get it out. It's wrestling with me under that bridge out there. It's been a great day. We've caught some F1s, a few nice carp. Just had to persevere a little bit. It slowed down when the sun's come out this afternoon. But we've managed to put a few fish together. We've had some lovely F1s, carp up to about 6 or 8 pound. It's been a good day really, but like just consistently casting in the same area, hitting the cliff each time, making sure your bait's in the same place, alternating hook baits between 6mm pellet and a little boilie. We've put a few fish together. It's been really good fun. See if we can get this one to the net, and I'll show you what I've got. There you go, there's a couple of hours fishing at Barston Lakes. We've got a few nice mirror carp and some big chunky F1s. Try your distance method feeder fishing on your local venues and see how you get on.